Hi guys, and welcome to this edition of the Your Progress is Our Passion podcast. Today I'm joined with another PT who I've had the pleasure of working with once before. It's a guy called Mike Ward. He's a PT over in Warrington, runs his own studio there. Someone I've had, just as I say, the pleasure of working with before. Absolute top bloke, become a good mate, and just looking forward to getting into talking about his ideas on training philosophy and nutrition philosophy and all that other good stuff. So I'm going to go over to Mike. Is it morning or afternoon? Afternoon, there we go.
Afternoon, no, it is, mate.
How are you doing?
I'm good, really good.
Good. So the first question, and not so much a question really, it's more just tell us a little bit about your journey into kind of fitness and then into opening and running the studio.
Yeah, well, a good few years back now. So I've always been into fitness from a child, really. We grew up in sort of the slums of Warrington, really, I should say. So my dad always had us joining teams as well, to keep us off the streets, getting into trouble, So my brothers played rugby and I was heavily into karate and kickboxing, all the way up until college, and then I got involved with rugby with my brothers as well. So fitness was just part and parcel of our everyday life, really. But when I got into my probably early 20s, I sort of swerved it a little bit, as we do, found women and beer, like you do. Off to college, and then studied to be a graphic designer, and I was a graphic designer for 15 to 18 years. So, but I was still playing rugby on the side, so I was still keeping fit, and it just, because I'd always done it, I ended up sort of taking a lot of the fitness sessions and that, and it just got to a point where I thought, I really enjoy this, and I'm enjoying this more than my job, and so I decided to train to be a personal trainer.
Mm-hmm.
So I went down the course of, I think it was a 6-month course or something, the level 2, level 3 PTs you do, pretty standard, and the idea being that I was just going to PT on the side for a bit of pocket money, and it just took over, and my interest grew and grew, and I started going to more seminars, started to go and Phil Learning, Ben Coombs seminars, started going on courses, signed up for the body type nutrition course as well, and things just steadily grew from there. By this time I was a freelance graphic designer working from home, so I just started taking on shifts in my local gym, and PTing on the side there, covering some fitness sessions and doing my design work, and it just took over. So I went on then to make it my full-time job and built from there, really. Went down the gym route. I was in a gym for a good couple of years, being the commercial sort of PT out there, and decided that it wasn't for me. It wasn't what I wanted. That it was great, and it was a great experience. And I'd probably advise any starting PT to go down that route to start off with. It's you basically just pay your rent or cover shifts, and then it's up to you to learn how to get clients. So I learned a lot from that, and then decided that I wanted to open my own studio. Which I did, and it was a studio the size of a box shoe, a shoe box. It was tiny. It was, but it did its job, and my company started to really expand and grow. And then I started to get involved with online coaching as well, through Life Changing Fitness, which was good. I learned a lot from that, and then today I own a studio, which is, I think it's 1,800 square feet. We have 2 other PTs currently running from here as well, which I try and sort of help them mentor as well, and advise them as best I can. And we plan on growing it a little bit more next year.
Awesome. So what was it that attracted you to having your own space?
I think it was just the working in the commercial environment. Even though it was good and I learned so much, there was just, I don't know, it just didn't feel like I was being able to do what I want to do. I think I was getting dragged in too much to doing what the other PTs did, and it was well, such is doing this and it works, so I should do that. Or, you know, there might have been a PT in there that has been a PT for a lot more time than I have. So it's like, oh, well, he's doing that, so I must do that. And I think that battle of wanting to use my own initiative and sort of seeing what everyone else was doing was like a conflict. It was a battle going on inside my head, and I just felt, right, well, I need to get away from that and just focus on me and what I want to do.
Yeah.
So opening my own studios enabled me to do that.
Yeah, I mean, something we've spoken about before is definitely that idea that when you are someone who's got a very clear vision of where you want to go, or a big vision of where you want to go, doing that in someone else's kind of, under someone else's facility or under someone else's guidelines isn't always the best way.
No, definitely not. I know, you know, it's something I sort of say to my PTs that are here as well. You know, even though I wanted them to work under sort of my name and my banner, is do your own thing. You know, it's you have your ideas of where you want to go, how you want to see it. You can't let anybody else dictate that to you, because it's just too confusing and it takes all the fun out of it. You know, it's if I'm sort of constantly going on and going, you know what, I don't want to do it that way, but so and so says I should do it that way. Well then, you know, it's taking the fun away from me making my own mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's a big part of coaching, is we've got to be able to make these mistakes. You know,
definitely.
You know, it's the only way to learn, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, so moving into the environment where I could make my own mistakes definitely worked for me.
Awesome. So I imagine you're sort of like with myself and every other PT I've ever spoken to, your training philosophy has changed from a lot over the years. How would you describe where it currently is?
Currently, I suppose it's a little bit different for all my clients, but the one thing that we do try and do for them all is make it fun. So basically, if I've got like myself, like yourself, I'm really into Olympic lifting.
Yeah.
So that's my bag. But it's not all my clients,
Yeah.
you know, so I'm not going to get them all to train like that. Some of them, the ones that find it fun and interesting, yeah, we do. But others, I've got clients from all sorts. I've got semi-pro rugby players training it, you know, and to try and get them even, you know, to start an overhead squat, it's now impossible with them at the minute, but it's something we're working on with them.
Yeah.
So we do throw that into their sessions and into the training plans, but we make the rest of the session fun for them. So what they want to do, whether it is bashing a tackle background or, you know, heavy deadlifts and squats, you know, we do whatever they find fun we put into it. But I do stipulate in a lot of programs that everyone has, there's going to be exercises in there that I say they must do.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's working on the posture or the mobility, you know, they all know they've got a set program. But yeah, we make all the programs fun for them. We run a small group training, and a big part of that is based on strength training, as well as mobility exercises as well. And some of the people that are on it, you know, they've got no interest in strength training at all, but it's the way we sort of set out the session to make it fun, and we have a program and we have a board up where they are all putting the PBs on and that, and you know, we have prizes at the end of the month. So it is just all about being fun and not as strict as, you know, maybe you used to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't have to be that strict.
Yeah. With the people that you say are like less inclined to the strength training at first, is that something you see most of the time to kind of than to actually warm to it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, more so from some of the women that we have here on the group sessions that we run, are mixed sessions. So yeah, there's a lot of competition with the blokes who wants to be top of the board on the deadlift or who wants the biggest squat. But we sort of find that as the sessions go on and as sort of the women have been involved and say they're here for a month plus, then they start to get on that side of things. It's like, right, Mike, what's my weights on this? I'm saying, look at the board, let's have a look at the board, what are we going for today? Right, we're going to use PB day today, come on, let's smash it. And then, you know, you can see that turning them, you see that changing them, and it is just, I think working from that sort of environment, and working with myself as well, and their programme that they have, is because they can see the improvements that they can make, where I think it's that almost lack of self-belief at the start. So it's like, I can't strength train, I can't lift heavy, I can't, you know, and it's very negative, but as we sort of push them onto it a bit, and you can see how they get more positive, and I suppose a little bit braver in the fact that they can say, right, you know what, yeah, I can lift this, or I am gonna lift this, you know. So it is great to see how they come on over the weeks, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I always find that kind of getting someone stronger physically usually works as quite a good metaphor for actually helping them get stronger mentally as well. Yeah. In that, like, I've got my class where I work with people with poor mental health, and the heaviest in that particular room, the heaviest kettlebells we've got are 14 kilos. Right. So they're doing farmers walks with 14 kilos, and like, oof. And I just wish I could just take them next door and give them a set of 25 kilo plates, then take them back to the 14 kilos, and then have them go and have that experience of, oh, that was nothing. I can't believe I ever thought that was heavy. Yeah. And they just like that expression of, oh, I didn't know I could do that, or I didn't think I'd be able to do that. Yeah. It's like a lot of times in life when we don't think we can do something, we don't. So when when you show someone a little bit beyond that, it can have a great knock-on effect for other areas where.
Oh, that 100%. You know, you can sort of see it in them, and you know, again, not just the women, but some of the men as well. When they come into this sort of group training environment and they see others that have been here for months already doing it, and it is that, well, I can't do this. Well, as soon as they realise that they can do it and they do it, then the next sessions they walk in, they're like, you know, different people. The confidence is up here. You know, they're walking taller, and they walk into this client, and then you can see them then. They're looking at other new people joining in, you know, and you can see, well, I was like that not so long ago, and now they're the ones that are saying to these new people, you can do that. Yeah. I've done it. Look, it's on the board there. You know, and it's amazing to see. You know, to be part of that journey with them.
Yeah, that's one of the most satisfying things for me is not only when you get a person stronger, but then when they go on to be like a beacon of strength to the new people. Yeah. So there's someone who thought of themselves, you know, 1, 2, 3, 6 months ago as just being kind of a newbie or not particularly capable, and then, you know, 3 months down the line, the new people are coming in and actually going, oh well, I wish I could lift like John over there, or I wish I could lift like Mary over there. It's like, and they're playing catch up with someone who a few months previous didn't think that they had anything.
Exactly, yeah.
So you've done BTN. So you've got a keen interest in nutrition, I'd say. Yeah. What's some of the kind of nutritional advice that's kind of top of mind for you right now?
I think I think it's since completing the BTN course, is with nutrition as well as with training. I mean, you've got to enjoy it, you know. And I know I've done where I may have done photo shoots in the past and that, and especially my first ones. And you're looking at your diet that I had then, and it was your stereotypical chicken, rice and broccoli, you know, 8 times a day. It's great. A couple of rice cakes now and again if you're lucky, you know, and it's shit, you know. It is like that. It is shit, you know. So coming from after doing body type nutrition and realising that, you know, we can eat what we want to eat, you know, we can enjoy our meals, and we should enjoy our meals. And is when I do meal plans for my clients now, is based around what they enjoy and what they eat, you know. And it's right, okay, you go out to the butty van in your lunch at dinner time, right, well, let's do it, but let's make the right choices when we go and do it, you know. And it's right, if we're sat at home in the evening, a massive thing that I do with them all is try and get them to sit down and have that family meal. Yeah. You know, so if I'm writing a meal plan for them, and I do this with one of my online clients as well, is we sort of say, right, well, what time do you all sit down and eat? okay, well, this is what we're going to eat, and it might be like a big bowl of spaghetti bolognese or something, or we're making a chili, or we're having a Sunday dinner on a Thursday night. It's but it's all enjoyable food. So yeah, aesthetically, if we want to look good, we've got to eat well and train well. But your food doesn't have to be bland. Your food doesn't have to be that strict that we can't have a treat. It's I know some of my friends will say, how can you drink? How can you have a beer over a weekend, and still do the job you're doing? You're a personal trainer, you're a coach, you've got all these people that, will come into you, but you'll go out and have a drink after a rugby on a Saturday. Well, yeah, because you enjoy it, but I'm sensible with my food, I eat well, I cook nice meals, so I think, again, with nutrition as well as training, it's just sort of relax and chill out a little bit with it.
Yeah.
If we want a treat now and again, have a treat, let's just be sensible about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, the key there when you're saying about relaxing is that if you're overly stressed about your food, that actual stress is going to do worse for your system than the odd treat here and there. I mean, I think that where it becomes a problem is when it becomes, the exceptions become too much. I've definitely been in that position where I was like, yay, moderation, I've got this moderation thing nailed, and sometimes it was easier to either to be binary with it and say, I'm either being good or being bad, and it's a difficult balance, but once you find that balance, I think you kind of, your stress levels kind of come down, which, well, basically stress is just an absolute bastard and and destroys everything. So, so the most you can do to kind of minimise that. I like the fact that you kind of focus on getting them that family time as well. Like,
I think it goes down to the stress and that. I know with my ex-partner, when I was on a photo shoot and I was having to eat meals away from the family because this is what my plan said, it was shit. I was eating at one time and then sat around while they were eating at another time, and I'd eat again after it, and you're almost taking yourself out of that environment. And it's that environment where you sort of get home and you want to chill out a little bit, but you can't. It's like, well, hurry up and finish your take because I've got to have mine, or well, what are you cooking tonight? Well, I've got to cook this. It's like, it's bullshit, isn't it? Really, Let's sort of all chill out a bit, and we can stick to a plan, or we can eat sensibly, but we can do it together. And I think a big thing, that I push is about getting the families involved in that, because then your partner's on board with you as well.
Yeah.
And if they can see that you're putting this work in, and you're training hard, you're eating well for a reason, and you can see, they're going to benefit from it, because you're going to be a happier person, which is going to benefit everyone. We're taking, as you say, we're taking that stress away from it, which is massively important. And it's, again, I'll go back, it's the same with training and with nutrition. Taking the stress out of it and just relaxing into it a bit better. You're going to see your goals, you're going to reach your goals, but it's not going to be like, oh shit, I've got to eat this, or I can't eat that, And I think it goes down to sort of educating people as well. All my clients have come in at some point and they've gone, oh, well, that's a good fat, innit? Oh, that's a bad fat. And it's like, well, no, let's not label it. You don't need to label it. It's an avocado, that's it. It doesn't matter, it's good fat, bad fat, whatever. No, it's just eat it.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, a lot of the information that's out there, if you don't, I think you were on the BTN course before me, so was you get taught critical thinking at the beginning by Rich?
By Rich, yeah.
So, that was to be fair to me, that was one of the most valuable modules, just because it kind of produced the foundation for how you then go on to think about everything. I think I always have thought critically, but not to the same level as what we were taught.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, so it's basically a case of question everything, including the stuff that we're teaching you, which is like the best way to kind of put it out there, because people do just go, oh, you hear the word superfood thrown around, or good fat, bad fat, it's like, all that stuff, and it becomes actually more confusing.
Yeah.
It's like, I say, kids getting diabetes because they had smoothies because there was too much sugar in there. It's like, oh, so fruit's bad for us now. It's so much is kind of like, it's hard to even know what is left that is actually safe to eat, unless you kind of learn to think critically about it and to question it.
Yeah. Well, we run this women's only 6-week course, and the idea being is they come in and train together as a group, and it's sort of like almost a start of a lifestyle change, to start to get people exercising a little bit more. But we do talk about nutrition a lot in there, to the point that I came up and made this booklet for them all. And we send this booklet out when they all start out, and it's basically just dispelling all the myths. Because I found when I first ran the course, they came in, and what should have been maybe a 20-minute, half an hour chat on nutrition ended up being an hour and a half, because one was saying, well, you're not allowed this, one was saying you're not allowed that, another one was saying, well, I've been told we can't do this, and it was sort of like I was stood at the front getting it from all ways, sort of like, right, everything that you've heard there is bullshit. It's just, this is the truth. And when you sort of when people realise, again, I suppose it goes back to that stress, when people realise, it's just saying, okay, I get that now. And when you see that sort of switch click, and it's like, you're going to be so much happier when you're eating this week. And then women all went on to get amazing results. And they were all eating meals with the families, they were all preparing the meals the night before, so they had more time in the morning. They were all sitting down and having a good breakfast, again sitting down and eating with the kids. How many mums nowadays just feed the kids in the morning because they're far too busy getting them ready? Well, we got a couple of these who were prepping it all, getting it ready the night before, so they could sit down and have breakfast with the kids before they went to school. And they'd come in here and train afterwards. And it's like, I've had a great morning this morning. Managed to get this done, that done. And it's just amazing to see. But I think it is sort of taken away from all these myths and sort of hearsays that are coming. There is far too many of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, a lot of the myths are based on things that do work. What the problem is that people aren't understanding why the thing works. And
that's it. You'll pick something up and you'll not research it or not look into what it's actually meant, and then you'll sort of almost do your own wave around it, and you say like, I know there was someone that came to me and old trainer had said, right, we need to carb backload. This is what we need to do. You need to carb backload, and then you're going to see results better. And she came and she was literally starving herself from carbs all the way up until about 7 o'clock at night, because she trained at 5 o'clock, and then she was trying to get 200 grams worth of carbs in one meal. And saying, I can't manage it. I said, well, no shit. It's I don't think I could, but
I could have 200 grams of carbs like now. Okay, so in terms of mindset, has there been any kind of key things that you've learned yourself where you've had a change in your own mindset that's enabled you to kind of either do better with your business or help other people?
Yeah, without a doubt. And I suppose it sounds a little bit daft, but it is be a little bit selfish.
Okay.
And in that way, it's sort of mean, it's okay to sort of take time for yourself, and it's okay to look after yourself. Where I know through probably a huge amount of the time while I've been setting up the studio, my whole sort of ethos has been, it's all about them and not me. And so, to the point where I'd sort of, my training had suffered, my nutrition had suffered, my spending time with friends or family, would suffer, because it was 100% into everything for everyone else. And it was probably only maybe this time last year where I sort of said, well, you know what, fuck it, I've got to look after myself a little bit more here. And it was, saying no. It's just, can you do this for us, can you do that for us? Well, no, I can't, or at least not yet.
Yeah.
Give me a bit of time and then I'll get onto it. And just, I'm not sort of stressing about it after, there was times where I'd sort of say, you know what, I'm taking a day off, and I'd take the day off and then I couldn't enjoy the day because I felt guilty the whole of the day. I've cancelled this client, I've got this programme to write, I've got this to do, I've got these posts to put out, I've not done anything, I've not checked in with my online clients. It's like, shit, I need to do it to the point where I'm going, this day needs to be over because I need to get back to work tomorrow. And I don't think it's fair on everyone else. So when I say sort of to be selfish, I do mean, be selfish and take a bit of time for myself. And with that, it's making me a better person to help everyone else.
Yeah.
Certainly making me more proactive and productive in the time. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite things. Especially, it's good that you've come across it, because like not a lot of blokes come across this one. And this is something that when I'm working with mindset clients, that it's a very female thing to be so other people focused. So that like they've got the kids to do, they've got the shopping to do, they've got this to do, and now 9 times out of 10 nowadays that woman's now working as well. Like the whole dynamics change. That like women take on so much that usually has very little to do with themselves. And it's actually, so you say to them, take some time for yourself. It's like, I can't. It's like, it sounds like you've just asked them to kind of go and like, kill a dog or something. Like, you've asked them to do something so offensive. And, but they're like, I can't. And so I always explain to them, it's like, okay, so you've got 24 hours in the day, right? What percentage of you are you able to give to people for those 24 hours a day? And they're like, it's like 50, 40, whatever it may be. I'm like, right, take 1 hour out of that day for you.
Yeah.
Scratch your own itch first, like do whatever it is that you want to do. Get a workout in. Have like an hour in front of the telly. Have an extra hour in bed. Go and obviously this is all like examples for women mostly now. Go and get your nails done. Oh man,
it could be.
I've not got my nails done because I bite them though. Got to stop that. And and then it's like, okay, now how much can you give to them people? And they're like, the percentage comes up. It's like the whole analogy of when you're on a plane, put your mask on before you help other people. Yeah. Because if you can't breathe, then you're no good to anybody.
And that's it, I found myself getting to a point with that. The fact that I was sort of taking a step back and going, well, this client isn't checking in, or this client isn't sort of sticking to the programme, or why they're not doing it, and it's only when I sort of took that time out for myself, and then I was able then to get more involved with that client, because I didn't have all them worries and strains coming through. I've not done this, I've not done that, I've got to do this, got to do that. So I chilled out a little bit of it all and said, right, well, now for this next hour we can focus on you, and we can get you sorted for the rest of the week or until see you in a couple of days. And we did that, and that's what we do now. And then what that time's up, and especially when it gets to like 8 o'clock at night now, that's it, 8 o'clock at night, my phone's off. I'm spending time at home, whether I'm at home with the kids or home on my own. It's sort of like my time now. And the rest I'll deal with in the morning, because I know when I get up in the morning I'm going to be so productive with that time that I can answer everyone's questions, I can get stuck into the plans. I'll sit in Costa for a couple of hours and get everyone's programme written up and sent out to him, and it's like, right, happy days, it's done now. Rather than sort of stressing, right, gotta do this, gotta do that, and then if I'm sort of fanning about and not getting anything actually done, because you are sort of getting dragged everywhere.
Exactly. Okay, so you've already talked about a little bit about the community, is it, with the Better Bodies crew, that like the group classes? What role do you feel that community plays in helping shape someone's overall progress?
I think it's massive, and I think it's sort of that realisation of the community and people getting together that is, it's sort of shaping my business in a different way. It's like this morning I sort of sat here for next year, planning next year's events, And yeah, we do a few events like X Runner, and we do Delamere Forest Commando Trail and things. We do that. Well, like this year, there's a group of us, about 10 of us, I think, went and walked up Snowdon.
Yeah.
So, you know, I sat down.
We followed you up a week later.
Right.
I felt so unoriginal.
That's it.
Like, damn it, Mike's already done it.
Yeah. Well, that's it, you know, and I'm trying to sort of get more things like that in the pipeline for next year, so we're almost setting out, so we do something a month, you know, so I don't expect every client to be there, but it's just a way of us all getting together now and again. And one of the big changes that we sort of brought in, we're bringing in from January, is like a free session on Saturday morning. So we're basically opening the studio up between 8 and 11 for all one-to-one clients and all Better Bodies clients to just come down and basically do the session of the day that's on the board.
Awesome.
You know, and it's all free of charge, and it's just to bring them in and just get them chatting. You know, I know there's going to be a couple of them coming. I'll just have a coffee and then we'll go off home because they're hungover or something. But they're here, and you know, it's a place that they want to be. Then, and for me, that's a massive achievement, because it's not only creating new friendships, but it's another form of fitness. You know, it's part of the whole fitness circle.
Yeah.
You know, that social side of it that's neglected so often. You know, if you look at someone being truly fit, you know, yeah, the food's on point, yeah, the training's good, but you know, if they're locked away in the gym on their own and they're not going out because they don't want to go out and have a drink with their friends because they've got to stick to this meal plan, that's not a full fitness package. You know, you've got to be social as well and friendly and that. So being able to bring them parts into it as well, you know, it just benefits, and plus it makes the sessions better as well. You know, if everyone's friends and we've been on walks, so I know when we did the Commando Trail, there was Better Bodies clients, there was one-to-one clients, and they'd never even met before. You know, well, by the end of the day, we all sat around and we went and had a drink, went and had a beer after it, and we're all sat around and everyone's laughing and joking, you know. And there was a group of the 4 girls that do it, and a couple of them were one-to-one clients, a couple of them were Better Bodies clients, and they didn't know each other because they shared a car. They were like all giggling away like they've been mates for years, you know. Yeah. And it's just fantastic to see. So I think that community environment is certainly sort of shaping my business in a different way.
Awesome. Okay, now for my 2 favourite questions. And as I said earlier, feel free to go controversial with these ones if you want. What is the worst piece of advice you see people either getting given or taking too much?
Oh, so the worst piece of advice.
It can be any area. It can be like, you know, watch Loose Women could be one of them, but
yeah.
Sorry to all Loose Women fans, it's terrible.
I think you know, I used to work with a couple of coaches, and yeah, we all know that form and technique is what's needed for us to improve. But I think they were really sort of fussy that technique has to be 100% perfect, and it doesn't. You know, if we look at some of the greatest athletes, you know, or strongmen or whatever, then, you know, when they're lifting the max or running the fastest, so the form is pretty shit, you know, because they've got one job to do and that's what they do. So as long as people are lifting, training in a safe way, then, you know, form and technique doesn't have to be 100%. I mean, I grew up playing rugby, and we were always told you should tackle this certain way. You know, this is the best way to tackle. I played with some great players, you know, we played on Great Britain side, and some of the best players that I played with, the tackling technique was shocking, but it worked for them. Yeah. You know, and I think that's got to be it. You find what's good for you, and you roll with that. Yeah. You know, if you can see improvements on it, yeah, coaches are going to improve technique slightly, but a decent coach should improve your technique for you. Yeah. This will work better for you, not this is what it says in the handbook. You know, and don't forget I teach as well, so I teach level 2 and level 3 PTs. So yeah, this is what it says in the handbook, but you know what, that doesn't work for everyone, because let's face it, no one looks like that in that book. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I did my level 1 British weightlifting qualification a few weeks back,
right?
And in that, like, there was, because they don't find many people as tall as me doing Olympic lifting, because it's just a really long way for that bar to travel. But the coach there, thankfully, was about the similar height to me. So when they were kind of correcting various pieces about like my shins not being quite vertical enough, like the other other students in the class, the coach was like, you've got to really take into account that the guidebook says that, and it's going to be right for sort of like the people in this middle 90%, but there's people at this bottom end and there's people at this top end that are going to have like different limb lengths, different proportions and all this. And so like you're kind of being picky over getting the protractor out on the knee and seeing that the shin angle is not quite.
I think there's too much of that, and you do see it in a lot of commercial gyms or commercial gym PTs, you know, because say the best PT in there, or the busiest PT in there, I should say, he gets all his clients to do the perfect deadlift. Well, you know, it might be technically perfect from the handbook, but then we might go in it and say, well, yeah, he's far too tall to be lifting that way, or like say his femur length is too long to be lifting that way. You know, so I think it is listen to a good coach and let a good coach correct your technique and not technique as a whole. You know, like doesn't have to look perfectly.
Okay, awesome. And what is the best piece of advice you think people aren't hearing enough, or certainly aren't doing enough?
Have fun. Have fun, man. That's got to be it. Have fun. 100%. It's like I say, you know, all the training sessions. I mean, I've gone from writing programs that are so strict on a program. It's like, right, you need to train 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a week, and you need to do what it says on this. Yeah, but it's boring, that, man. No, just do it because it'll work. You know, bullshit. You know, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. It's got to be fun. Make sessions fun. If your clients want to run around a bit at the end and, you know, get a proper sweat on, let them run around and get a proper sweat on. Just, you know, make it beneficial to them. You know, it's definitely got to be all about fun. And that's, you know, that goes for nutrition as well. Training, you know, whatever you do outside, work, anything, you know, it's good. If you're not enjoying it, you're not going to put 100% into it, and you know, it's no point doing anything half-hearted.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Awesome. So where can people find more about you and the studio and stuff on social or on
social media? So social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Not that I'm on Twitter much now, but Facebook and Instagram, Mike Ward PT. Or my website, mike-ward.co.uk.
Cool. Yeah, practically no one's using Twitter that much anymore.
Yeah, Twitter's dead, isn't it?
I decided to reignite mine at the beginning of this year and start writing in rhymes. Or was that last year? Could have been last year. And I got bored after 2 months.
That's it.
It was fun for a while. Right, awesome. Well, thank you.
No problems.
So thanks to Mike. Be sure to check his stuff out on the internet. Mike Ward PT or mike-ward.co.uk. Awesome. I'll be back on my own next week. As usual, I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about until I switch this camera on next time around. Thanks again for watching the Your Progress is Our Passion, or listening, sorry, if you're on the podcast. The Your Progress is Our Passion podcast.